All right, welcome back to our portfolio mastery week 6. This week's going to be about owning your portfolio system. So it's really going to be about you starting to create your own creative process based on a lot of the things that we've learned. So you've gone through a lot of your style development techniques, some polishing some of those technical skills. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of work to become a real working artist or to land that dream job or get into that college you like. These things take effort. So I want to commend you and I respect you totally for doing this. And so now you're going to start building your own creative process. So earlier in the program, I gave you a creative process system, and now you're really going to kind of develop your own. So owning your creative process system, you're going to really kind of think about owning your materials and techniques and how they fit into that system. And you're going to develop your own template. I'm going to have that download available for you in the program. And you're going to start some new work using these systems. So pretty exciting that you're creating your own creative process system for your portfolio. It's pretty awesome, exciting stuff. So real quick, successful artists have systems. Some people will tell you that I just sit down and I make something. Oh, okay, but then it's not going to have cohesion. It's going to be kind of all over the place. Successful artists do have systems, right? They don't just create a different way each time and come up with an awesome result each time. So it can be frustrating if you're trying to create your own art just off the top of your head with no system each time, because you have no why, you have no focus of where you're actually going, and you can end up wasting a lot of time, which is something that this program is really about. This program is really about you not wasting time. It's about a straight line to getting to where you want to go. So your system is really going to help push that through. It's gonna save you time. It's gonna end that frustration. So you're gonna make your own creative process system using the portfolio system templates and handout from week 2 as your guide. So get that template from week 2. It already has some good steps about creative process. That's going to be your guide. But go ahead and print out the one from week 6 because it's got a couple different columns in it. So get that get the old one from week 2 ready. Get the one from week 6 printed out as well. All right. And really you're going to start to decide, when is it important for you to ideate? When is it important for you to sketch or get research or get feedback? And why is this logical to you? So what order do you go through logically, right? Some people like to start by taking photographs first. They get their roommate, they get their whoever, and they say, hey, I need you to hold this broom handle like it's a sword and jump off the couch so I can take a bunch of pictures of you, right? And then I can sketch, and then I can add backgrounds and those kind of things. So that kind of comes, that kind of is going to come from you a little bit more. So own your materials and techniques in your style. So hey, once again, acknowledge and congratulate you that you've put a lot of time into finding those things that were difficult, and working on those things that are difficult with techniques and materials. And this is part of our creative process that you're always going to use is, where do you still need development? All right. Spend some time with that again this week. If it's still, learning an Adobe program or Procreate, something that you're trying to learn there, or if it's just getting better at drawing people in perspective or backgrounds, or one of those things that you struggle with, whether it's material wise or whatever, technique wise, always keep spending some time with that to get yourself better. This way you can replicate it consistently, right? We talk about cohesive and being consistent in this program constantly. That's because you're creating a portfolio, and it should have a consistent, cohesive look throughout it. You've heard me say it a million times. I'll say it more. And this template's really going to help you just kind of strategize that, like how you go through using your materials and your techniques in there. So part of it is about, the ideation and the process of doing the research and the sketching and coming up with your composition. But the other part of your specific creative process is, when do you implement certain things? So like in my work, one of the first things I do is I sort of think about I come up with a color scheme that I want to use for a specific piece. And then on my canvas, I start mixing watered down acrylics. I spray it with mineral spirits. I pour rubbing alcohol on it. I let it sort of roll around and kind of drip and splatter. And then I let that dry. And then I'm going to come in with my palette knife next with oil paint, and I'm going to block in areas of color. So like that's more of my like process with materials. All right, so let's keep rolling. So yeah, print that out, have that with you. Once again, at the very top of this handout, it's got your inspirations, it's got your mission, and put some style elements in there. Like now you've done a few weeks worth of developing your style, which is awesome. Hopefully you're not just copying somebody else's style at this point. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure we've had that discussion. So put some of those things up there at the top. Just it's always nice to kind of have them. You probably know them by heart now, but just write them up there so you kind of know, so we can begin with that end in mind, right? So just once again to clarify some of those things, like what's your dream career, who's your ideal client, your avatar, like name them, like give that. If you think your art is going to be in galleries and you're going to be selling to whoever your avatar is, we'll give them a demographic profile. We'll say it's middle-aged women with lots of money. Okay, name her. So you know who she is, and you know what she likes, and you know where she hangs out. What do they value? What do they appreciate? What do they want people to think of them as? Like, how do they want to be represented visually? Their visual identity of this person. Who are they? All right, so streamline the process to create better work faster, right? So that's what this whole template's for. You've got 2 columns: creative process system and materials and techniques. So like I said, say your creative process phase 1, say you take pictures first, and then second you sketch, and then third you do the research for the things that you did your sketches on, and then fourth, maybe that's where you're doing a key line drawing, and then you're going to scan it in, or you're going to transfer that to a canvas. All right. Over here, materials and techniques, step 1, maybe that's where you start with, but that's where I start with kind of loose drips and splatters, right? You might start with doing a bunch of Sharpie outlines, or maybe you start with, Photoshop and you just create like a gradient background to begin with, and then you do your designs on top of it. Right? Like those things are going to be up to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to go all the way down to 7. If your creative process has 4 in one column and 6 in the other, that's totally fine. And just once again, like these creative systems, they're important for creatives, right? I hear a lot of people talk about artist block, right? And artist block is a real thing. I've heard people say artist block isn't real. Artist block is really, it's kind of like, if we think about it from like a psychological standpoint, it's really the fear of not knowing what to do, or the fear of I'm going to mess something up. And so once you have your system, you feel a little bit more confident and comfortable. And really, I think that a lot of times, like that's what it comes down to, for creatives, for artists, is being confident in knowing what your first few steps are going to be. And then usually once you start going, like, you're just going to be streamlined. You're going to be confident. You're going to have billions of ideas. You're never going to run out of inspiration. You're going to have clear vision. You're going to make better choices. With those better choices, you're going to get better results, right? And with those better results, you can gain your personal freedom as an artist. So this is really meant to help kind of clarify your vision when you start a piece, when you start a portfolio. And it's supposed to be specific towards you. All right, so beginning new work using the portfolio building system, your creative process system. Fill out the week 6 portfolio system template. Like I said, this is yours. Own it, refine it for years to come, and you want to get started on 2 to 4 new pieces. Keep in mind, this is week 6 of an 8-week program that's really meant to kind of jumpstart you. If you don't have a bunch of finished pieces by the end of 8 weeks, it's totally understandable. It all depends on the individual. Some people's work is a little bit more complex. Some people's work, they can crank out in a day or two. So this is kind of based on your style, your complexity, about how many pieces that you want to get started on right now. And once again, this is your system. So, and part of that creative process is refining and reflecting on things. So if you feel like you need to, if you start a couple of these pieces and you need to add something in there or take something out, just print out a new template and create a new part of your creative process. Keep putting new stuff in there, taking things out that don't make sense anymore. If you're doing the full program, I will have a meeting with you. We'll go through this. We'll talk about it. If you have me as your one-on-one coach, if you're in the smaller program, good luck. And you can get into the Facebook group, and you can share things out there and get feedback from people and myself in there as well. So awesome. Make great stuff. Stay motivated. Stay focused. Streamline it. Save time. Be smart. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Peace.